Welcome to episode 14 of Poor Decisions. My name is Ronan Collins, our whiskey for breakfast.
And my name is Michael Cowman, or The Cowman Show.
Here, lad, guess where we still are?
Is it Fermanagh?
It is Fermanagh.
Despite numerous attempts to get us to leave, we are still in Fermanagh.
We are, and we're actually getting closer and closer to the most famous part of Fermanagh.
Right? Is that
Well, it actually could be this, but it's actually that Lough Erne.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that there.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, no. It's this big lake.
It's a big lake. A big lake. These are the stills that we're going to be talking
Jeez,
about
I didn't
shortly.
even see those.
Did you not?
No. Wild. It's as if I've just been teleported into this place and didn't see anything around me.
We didn't see anything.
So where are we, Ro?
So we are at the Boatyard Distillery in County Fermanagh. Boatyard, very, very popular around the world. We're going to hear more shortly, but like for their gin, their vodka, they have a couple other things out there as well.
And it's the only legal distillery in Fermanagh?
To my knowledge. Yeah. But it's actually putting Fermanagh on the map, and it's actually putting Irish like vodka and gin on the map. It's not necessarily a distillery that's just putting out stock until their whiskey is coming out. They're actually like, no, we want to specialize in nailing.
So they're not, because they're not doing whiskey at all.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I mean, very interesting. I mean, there's probably somebody better qualified to tell us about this than you.
I think there's quite a few, but the big Saucepot himself.
Oh, is that's what we call him?
I think that's his job title, on his business card.
Chief Saucepot.
Chief Saucepot. So please welcome Ciaran Shannon to the stage.
Here's Ciaran. Oh,
nice. Now we're talking.
a little treat.
I wonder what this could be.
Oh, this could be anything. Oh, well, doesn't this look delightful? Thank you, Ken.
One for myself as well.
Sure, listen, it'd be rude not to.
I tell you. Delicate.
Oh, look at that. That's service.
That is service.
So what are we drinking?
Yeah, what are we drinking here? Bring that bottle up. Show us.
Oh, sorry.
Get that front and centre.
Sorry, I thought Michael had to be front and centre.
Well, at least you kind of read the brief.
At least he's watched the show.
Yeah. So today we're drinking some Boatyard double gin martinis.
Oh, nice.
Chilled to minus 14.
I don't even want to clink these glasses.
Cheers.
They look very delicate.
Yes.
Nice.
Essential, lads.
That's delicious.
Oh, it really is. And you can see, look at that ice down the side. Oh, that is ice cold.
There's not many distilleries you can go into that you can get an iced gin martini, an ice cold gin martini.
No, absolutely not. Here, Ciaran, lad, thanks for coming to chat to us today. Well, allowing us into your distillery to chat to us today.
I wish it was my distillery.
What is apart from Chief Saucepot, what's your actual title?
Sorry, so just to correct that, it's Captain Saucepot.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Saucepot.
No, but so my
Hasn't even been promoted yet to Colonel, like a bit embarrassing.
I'll always be captain. No, my title, I was going to say my captain, my title is brand development manager and market manager for Ireland.
Okay, very good.
So I look after the island of Ireland for sales, and then I would be looking after the brand and the marketing sides for the company.
Class.
Plus I get to do a lot of travel, sip those delicious Boatyard martinis all around the world.
Yeah.
Great job.
Well, for as long as I've known Boatyard, I've known you. Like you have been intrinsically linked for me. When I was in London and moved over, I was like shocked at how much I seen local brands, especially in the north of Ireland. I was like everywhere there was like Boatyard and other brands, and I was like, what do these big brands not play it? And you were like, no, it's actually so relationship based here in the north, and that's where you kind of plied your trade, and you just got high quality bars listing like your stuff.
Yeah, okay, like again, it is. I think the best thing about the north on trade to start things off is probably the relationship that most brands have with each other. And there's a lot of support, so that again, us helping out a whiskey brand or the guys making rum nowadays as well. But everybody's kind of supporting everyone. You're not fighting for a full menu. If you can, kind of beat the corporate beasts out there and get that out there. But no, I think the bartenders and bar managers around the north just love a good local spirit. And again, as long as you're in supporting them, showing them a bit of support, they're all up for taking that on board.
And look, I think we'll come back to that. But let's rewind it, because you have some great listings around the world that I want to touch on. But if we rewind it back, what's the story of Boatyard? I rocked in here and went, oh yeah, this is my first time here. Boats. Makes sense.
Boatyard was founded by a guy called Joe McGurr, originally from Fermanagh, just across the lough. It would take 15 minutes by boat, but about an hour and 15 by car.
Okay.
But Joe grew up in Fermanagh, went to Enniskillen College, moved over to London to study wine and work with wine. Found it a wee bit snobby. And
Well, it is.
yeah, especially with my accent, I would say. But yeah, then he decided that he was going to move up to Scotland and started working for the Glenmorangie company. So he worked there for a total of 10 years and helped the guys open up the Scotch Malt Whisky Society.
Okay.
Yeah. And in that time, one of the guys that he worked with he got very friendly with. They had this idea of opening up a distillery, one each. So his friend opened up the London distillers, the gins like Dodds, Kew Garden. Joe went down there and helped them for a year kind of get up and running. I always like to say he learned how to spend other people's money.
We know that feeling.
It's the best. It's the best money to spend. You know, who else's would you spend? I don't have any.
So he done that, and then he always wanted to come home, open up the distillery. Thought he would do it in the family farm, so his family raised cattle. As you can see around here, we've got a lot of upcycled dairy equipment.
Yeah.
Not dairy, the county. But they always wanted to open up the family farm. Neighbours weren't too fond of that idea, so we had to stumble across a new site.
What? Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me on
That's
the island of
everything.
Ireland, somebody objected to planning permission or to somebody doing something progressive? Well, I never.
We love Fermanagh, but Fermanagh people are a breed of their own.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. We love you. We love you, though. We love you. But yeah, so he stumbled across this site that we're on today, and this is actually where our name come from as well.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because genuinely there is a yard full of boats. You know, so
There is, yeah.
say what you see.
Exactly, yeah.
So we were actually going to be called the Lough Erne Distillery, but then we were scared that Americans would call it Lough Erne.
Yeah. And they'd be like, where's Loch Burt?
I think that's actually a good thing for our distilleries. It's not named after a place, because a lot of distilleries are named after either the county or the town in the county, and sometimes maybe it limits them to where they can kind of go.
I'm not the biggest fan of, like, I think, and Ronan and I have had this conversation many times, brands should be pronounceable. And like any SKUs they bring out should be pronounceable for everybody. Like nobody is going to order a brand that makes them feel stupid. And I've had this conversation and people are like, well, Lefroy gets away with it. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not Lefroy.
Yeah, I like, like maybe a the and one word, or just like one word, 3 syllables.
Yeah.
Something like solid. Doesn't have to be a place.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for any of that now. Like Joe done so much hard work whenever it actually came to setting up the brand, so the design, the labels, what it's called. Like, look at this bottle. There's so much detail that's gone actually into it as well. So,
So how many years?
so it was 2016. October 2016 was the first year of Boatyard. So that's whenever we sold our first bottle.
Okay.
But I think it was like a 9-month process before we actually decided on the spirit that we are actually drinking today.
It is a fantastic product. You know?
It really is. And on the design and on the labelling, we've seen some of it happening downstairs. And on the label, I actually have this one because I took it.
You stole it.
Yeah, I stole it, but it's like wild heavy. Feel that?
Yeah, it's the plate used for printing, and everything is still hand labeled, which is mental. We were chatting to lads. I was like, "Are you hand labeling everything?" And they said, "Bar one of the SKUs." Yeah.
So essentially, you have like your blue coloured label with a silver foil on top, and this plate just stamps it out.
It's Johann Gutenberg type of stuff in here, like
So the paper we use is all recycled paper, and then these plates basically stamp a hot foil against the paper, and then that's how the label's made. So each label is done one at a time on an old German Heidelberg letterpress machine.
Yeah. Say that 10 times
Get
fast.
quite the mouthful.
But I think that is very cool. One of the most impressive things then, I guess, is we mentioned and we touched upon it, is the kind of listings and stuff you have in the trade.
Yeah. So whenever Joe was coming up with what we're drinking, the reason he came up with the gin that we're drinking is because of the drink that we're drinking. His favourite cocktail was a martini.
Good man.
He wanted a gin to stand
I liked
up. He wanted a gin to stand up in a good classic gin martini. And that's kind of bode well for us all around the world. We've got bartenders that basically push Boatyard in front of people that ask for a martini, and especially a lot of those good bars have a lot of corporate backing.
Look,
But
I was
those
in-
bartenders still love pushing boots.
I was in Lioness in London one day, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, class, can I get a Boatyard martini? And they were like, yeah, we use this all the time for stuff, and it's organic, it's natural, and it's just because they like it, basically.
Yeah, again, it's all about the spirit for us. Yes, it looks pretty, but if it doesn't make good drinks, then we don't really want it leaving the distillery.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Even in like New York and Dubai, you just start to see it, and you see it in the places where you're excited to be.
Yeah, all big time.
And it isn't pushed in front of you. But if you want that classic drink, like what would you recommend? Or even I was an employees only one night, and I was so excited to see it. I was like, oh, you have Boatyard. Like, I'll have a Boatyard martini. And they're like, oh, we're out. We need to go get more. And I was like, oh, did you go through it much? I was like, well, that was new a couple of days ago. So they're actually flying through it, and it's class. It actually makes me really happy.
We were in New York there at the start of June, and they were telling me all these bars to go to. We walked in the employees only, and our guy, Michael Smoley, that works in New York, absolute legend, doing a great job for us out there. But we walked through the door with him, and the guy behind the bar literally just lifted up these 3 massive martini glasses, poured it straight into the Mexican glass, give it a quick stir, and I mean, these massive martinis were just set in front of us before we could do anything else. This was 3 o'clock in the morning. All we wanted was a beer.
Well, there, listen, at least you know that man is doing his job.
Well, exactly. A great job at that.
Yeah.
But like so obviously we're talking about like the positives and like all that like beautiful like listens around the world. But, like you bloody work hard, and it's quite a small team, and like every bottle is hand labeled, hand filled, and like it's
Made here.
and made here. Yeah.
No, that is a big factor. I think everybody in the team kind of pulls their own weight. Whether it's like I've been thrown into distilling only the slow gin because it's covered up. If it makes up. But no, like, everybody's involved in every aspect. And again, like we kind of have a saying in the distillery where we want to be known for being the best Irish gin distillers around the world, but taking our people along with us in the journey. So like the way everybody's looked after from private healthcare just the whole way up through, it's a big thing for us. So yes, we have a small team, but we kind of always want to keep them there as well.
I was going to say, when you served us the martinis, like there's a bit of a level of service here, and this is something we kind of have talked about on the podcast before. Like there's a level of service even in the distillery, and you know a lot of the time you get drinks in the distillery and they can be really nice, but I don't think they're served in a kind of a 5-star style, which is something you kind of definitely do here, is it?
Yeah, well, like, again, our thinking on that is we work with the hospitality sector, so we might as well be hospitable whenever people come.
Yeah.
And that goes from our tours as well. Like whenever we do our tours 5 days a week. All the drink is got the best ice in it, so we get the big ice spheres. You get a gin and tonic as soon as you come through. You get that crystal clear ice. One of the biggest things in a drink. But again, one of the best things in the drink, it needs to be good ice to make it a good drink. So we really believe that, and we try and push that out. It's funny, sometimes you get people coming through the door and just go, oh, we don't like ice in our drink. But again, we're trying to educate people as well without being too pushy on it. Yeah.
And another like fundamental from you guys is your sustainability aspect, and right, sometimes it's a bit of a trigger word, sometimes it doesn't really mean a lot. But even being here today, it genuinely is encompassed in everything you guys do.
Well, it actually started with this, and it's something we probably didn't shout about too much. You see all these people, like we're green in nature, not in colour. So like we actually want to be sustainable rather than just say we're sustainable and doing all these things. Like our bottles are made from recycled flint glass, our labels are made from recycled paper, our corks are made from a sustainable tree planting farm in Portugal. And this is all things we were doing before sustainability was a massive thing. So like again, whenever we started, we wanted to start out in the right foot. As time has evolved, we've had to evolve with it. Like we're the first distillery in Ireland to have B Corp status. So again, that's how we look after the environment, how we put in our sustainable practices, look after our people as well. We brought out our eco-fill pouches.
They are class.
So there's a couple of things here. There's the eco-fill pouches and the fill from the thing. You like to be a bit controversial, do you?
Oh God, I think we brought out the eco pouches, and I think somebody said it was is it a colonoscopy bag of gin?
Nice.
I was like, yeah, it's. Yeah, okay, I get that.
But do you know what? That there just showcases, and Michael and I live our lives with this mantra. What's worse than being talked about? Not being talked about.
Yeah, I didn't know where he's going with that, but yeah, no, like fair enough.
You know what I mean, though? Like he's tried something with those bags that are so different and so new, And then what? You just stick it in the post, and it just gets back here.
So we go on the extra mile. We wanted to make sure that once somebody was done with the bag, they weren't just throwing it in a landfill or a bin. So the bags themselves, they cut down on carbon emissions by like 98%.
Because they're lighter.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they use less single-use glass. But as well as that, they're even just the wasted materials. So like, again, like the liquid to glass ratio here is 58 to 42, whereas against the pouch it's like 98 to 2.
Okay, yeah.
So again, you've got more liquid against packaging, you're cutting all that down. And then again, trying to get people to reuse these rather than just throwing them out.
And you do have a refill station here.
So the pouches are just for trade, and then the refill station is more so for the consumer.
So essentially, anyone who hasn't seen it, right? You come to Boatyard Distillery with your empty bottle
Of anything.
empty vessel. And you can choose, there's like jerry cans in there of like the slow, the vodka, the gin, and
The Old Tom.
The Old Tom. And you can just keep going and going and going.
And you save about a tenner on a bottle?
$10 a bottle, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
So it's well worthwhile doing
Might
it.
as well buy two.
No, it's something that we are very passionate about. We don't want to kind of just start talking about sustainability. We kind of want to start practicing about it as well. And it can be very cliche sometimes, but we see it as very beneficial.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're kind of keeping up with what we're saying.
Yeah, totally. So a question we ask all of our guests, just to kind of bring this as a wrap, bring this to a close.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
How about one martini in on the sidelines? Feel like I'm in Jukes. You're also in
We're
Jukes.
also in jokes, yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy a Boatyard martini in Jukes.
Which is, and anyone who's not had a Duke's Martini, it's basically like attempted murder. They're huge. You can only have two, and you should never have more than two.
No, you actually shouldn't, but after the second, you're going to be like, I want a third. Actually,
First
they're
time we
fabulous.
went, we had 3.
did you?
See, you're
I'm
roll-
going
I
to
see
show
you're
this to
rolling out of this.
Alessandro. He's going to see it and he'll be like, no, they didn't. I refuse to.
No, we didn't.
Before we actually wrap up, you do an amazing vodka.
Yes.
So will we give that a try before we wrap up?
Switch out. So this is our vodka.
And again, same lovely bottle. Yeah. Yes, chef.
Oh, there's a cork in it.
There is.
Oh, you have seen
Can I
them in the
can I
cork?
pop the cork?
I've seen the cork.
This is my first vodka pop.
No, you did one in Titanic, I think, didn't you?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I did. This is my second vodka pop.
Wasn't it? It's not even your first vodka pop in Northern Ireland.
The north of Ireland.
North of Ireland.
Oh, I'm on a list somewhere.
That's why you're in the middle.
All right, so let's rate the pop of Boatyard vodka.
That was the best one. I think that was the best one, yeah.
Jeez.
It didn't want to let go.
No, it didn't. It's like a splash zone.
You better not get stopped on the way home.
I've just done that to have a wet t-shirt and turns it on.
Oh, no. Oh, here, it's a great aroma. On me
Augustina,
now.
will you take some pictures for his OnlyFans? They love that.
No, I call it Lonely Fans.
Okay, yeah. Lonely fans, more like.
Nice. Glad I'm covered in vodka.
I'm glad we have that on camera as well.
Good
Oh, there's a real like creaminess to it, isn't there?
So our passion is gin. We want to be known for our gin, but what we have with our vodka is something that bartenders just really latch on to. And it's one of those things where you take gin into a bartender that you don't know and they're just like, oh, not another gin. They have this perception of who wants to drink vodka neat. But then we kind of have to force it on them. Then whenever they smell it, they taste it, they're like, oh, is that actually vodka? And that all comes down. The big thing for us is the 100% organic Irish wheat that we use.
There's a lovely like vanilla note to it as well. Yeah.
Vanilla and pear for me is just really what takes over. A lot of ones would say like foamy banana sweets, you know, the shrimp and banana sweets.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of ones would pick off that. But yeah, for us it's a real passion project. Our accountant doesn't like it. It's not the most efficient product in the world to make. But we work directly with a farmer in Monaghan. We get the wheat sourced from there. They send it down to Kildare, they malt it for us, they send it back up, and then we do all the brewing, fermenting, and distilling ourselves on site. We use a mixture of 2 different yeasts, one being champagne yeast. So champagne yeast, just that wee bit less efficient, and allows a lot more of the Irish sweet to kind of sing through. And that's really what we're getting from that. There's a flavour coming through.
It is.
That Irish sweet.
It's really good, actually. Yeah.
And even as you're like talking on all your bottles, but like there's loads of transparency. You could almost make this at home if you had.
Well, that's the thing.
the equipment.
We are fully transparent. Like, there's no secrets about. Like, in the back of our gin bottle, it gives you a breakdown of the ingredients, but not only a breakdown, but also the percentage of each ingredient that goes in against the percentage of organic wheat base that we use. And then with the vodka, again, we've broke that down for the days it's been harvested, the amount of wheat that we use, the fermentation process, and it's all in the back there just to kind of really highlight how much detail we go into this. And as I said, real passion project. There's no gimmicks. There's no nothing like that. It's more so just about the vodka.
How do you want people to drink? Do you want people to drink that neat?
So we, because of the pouches, we can actually bring down the price of our goods quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we've started getting a lot of house gin deals.
Really? Okay. Yeah,
but again, we kind of handpick the venues.
Don't reveal all the secrets because like everybody be doing it.
Yeah, well, again, it's funny because so many distilleries ask us where we get the pouches from. And I just don't tell Joe that because he's that nice that he will literally tell everybody. But a lot of people ask about the vodka and having it as a house pour too. The one thing is, if you give somebody that drinks vodka and Coke,
too much character.
That's exactly it. This is vodka with character, and again, mixing this with anything, you actually get some of the flavour coming through. And I think that's the big thing for us with vodka, is that there's flavour there. There's a percentage that's not distilled to a high enough degree, so there should still be some of that flavour coming through. And martinis, highballs of any sort.
Just martinis all day.
That was an easy answer to keep used to having. No, I love it in the highball. Adding some sort of effervescence to it just really lifts it too.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Last question.
Yeah, I don't know if we've teed him up.
I don't think we have, but we'll do it anyway.
We'll do it anyway.
He's quick in his feet.
So we do a thing at the end of every interview. We do Room 101. So this is one thing from the drinks industry that you would get rid of, right? So you put it in a room and it's gone forever.
We have had some examples just to kind of let you think. We've had.
I don't think he's asked me this. I thought it was the other people.
No, we ask you now.
Yeah, we have people who steal your good glassware. That was Johnny Scan.
We had people who don't order Guinness as the first drink in the round.
Yeah.
Vapes.
Celebrity brands.
Celebrity brands was another one.
We have had the term mixologist was one.
Yeah. Term mixologist.
We had one where people who order essentially black and tans. Hated them.
For obvious reasons. Let's be honest.
So whatever really grinds your gears, it doesn't have to be, it can be a person, it can't be us, but it can be a person, it can be a thing, anything.
I would say bad hospitality, but what I mean by that is showing different degrees of hospitality to different people that come through your bar. So again, you might know somebody, they come in and you're best friends with them, but then the next person that comes in doesn't receive that same level of hospitality. And I think the Irish are so good at hospitality. Each area has very different ideas of what that hospitality is. But yeah, I would say that's probably it, not treating everybody as
the same.
In the venue.
And I totally agree. There's a particular restaurant in Dublin, which obviously I won't name, but everybody loves it. And I went and I had a terrible experience because the table beside us were spending huge amounts of money. You know, we were there for a birthday and wanted to buy a bottle of champagne and, wanted to spend a few quid. And because the table beside us were taking up all the oxygen in the room, basically, they were like, you're the poor people over here. More or less so, absolutely 100%. And if you're on the receiving end of that, it's a terrible experience.
Yeah, and again, I can't think of too many times I'm on the receiving end of it. It's more so seeing it happen. It's just kind of like...
Because I think when you work in the trade, you do get an elevated level of service sometimes, which great.
My wife loves it.
And it is, you're right, it is absolutely great, but when you see it, very rarely I've only witnessed it a few times where it's happening positively to me, and then that same staff or venue is negative to someone else, because then it's like, I don't really know how to deal with this, because obviously we like it. But that's a good one. That is in the room forever.
So if you ever experience bad hospitality again,
at least be consistently bad across the whole venue. That's what we're saying. Don't be better to table 2 than table 10.
Just because you like them.
Be shite for all of us.
Or just because they're good looking. That's probably why we get good service all the time.
Obviously, I reckon so. Well, that's a great note to finish on.
Captain Saucepot. You know, thank you very much.
More lads.
No,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.